Hey everybody, welcome back to the replay. Welcome to Position to Prosper. I'm Arianne Maccabee. If this is your first time tuning in, say hey and let me know where you are tuning in from. Follow me, invite your followers, appreciate that, and give hearts. So I was not on the last couple of days. I have started my second book, so y'all pray for me. In the meantime, you can get my first book on Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble called Destined to Fly, The Pursuit of Purpose. And also I just released an ebook. It's totally free that you can download called Deliverance 101. You can get that at bit.ly/Deliverance101. Make sure you use a capital D to download that. So that's bit.ly/Deliverance101. So go ahead and download those things. You can also follow me on Instagram at Arianne Maccabee. All right, so I just wanted to jump on really quick. It's the 4th day in of the year, and hopefully you guys have not faltered on your goals yet. It's easy to do. We get real excited and we create all these goals, and then once the rubber meets the road, sometimes we can fall off. And so if you are one of those persons who has created SMART goals and you're overwhelmed, or you haven't gotten there yet, you'll probably need it later on, this is for you. So a SMART goal, you go through it. They're specific, measurable, attainable, they're realistic, and they are time bound. And so I can say right now, I want to lose 10 pounds by the end of this month, January 30th or whatever the case is, right? And so that is my SMART goal. It's specific, it's measurable. I gave myself a deadline, but guess what? I can do that in my head. I can make up goals all day long, and there's a way to make not so smart goals, and I'm going to give you 5 of those things. And the first one is this: not so smart goals are smart goals that are not written, right? Goals that are not written down. And so again, you can go through so many goals in your head and we think, yeah, I made my goals, but until you write them down, they're not real. They're just ideas, and they're just thoughts. So just think about anything. Once you get it out of your head, it becomes real to you. It becomes tangible to you. And so that is the same thing that you have to do with your goals. So don't just go around saying, you know what, yeah, I'm going to make more money. I'm going to make more money this year. I'm going to save more. Write it down, because then it becomes real and you hold yourself accountable, which I know is a bad word and we don't like it, but you got to hold yourself accountable, because you don't want to be in the same spot at the end of this year as you were last year, right? And we do it every time. We have all these ideas and goals in our heads, and nothing happens because they're just ideas. They're not real until you write them down. You bring them from the invisible to the visible, right? So think about this. So God created the world, right? He's like, let there be light. He didn't just sit there thinking, I wish there was some light out here. He spoke it into the atmosphere. So we have to do the same thing. Goals and dreams. I think that dreams become goals. Dreams become goals. And that's my opinion, because I could have a dream that, you know what, one day I want to be a rock star. But until I say I want to be a rock star within the next 10 years and actually have a plan in place, it's not a goal. It's just a dream. It's just an idea. So I believe that dreams lead to goals, but I don't believe that they're the same thing. Can dreams be smart? I don't think dreams can be smart. They can be very motivating. They can be very inspiring. I think that dreams, those are where ideas are born, but until they are tangible, they become goals when you actually put a place to it. You put some parameters and some, specifications to them, all of that stuff. So I believe that dreams become goals at some point, right? So you got to write that stuff down. I believe in writing down your dreams too. If you're one of those people that can remember them when you wake up, write them down. I believe in that. You just never know. Anything can be birthed from there, but it all starts somewhere. So I always encourage people, write your dreams down, because you never know. I mean, you can look back at something that you dreamt, 10 years ago and see, wow, it's actually coming to pass now. So definitely do that. So make sure that you are writing these things down. Another thing, not so smart goals that are not visible. Right? Goals that are not visible. So once you write them down, you got to be able to see them, because out of sight, out of mind, right? out of sight, out of mind. And whatever you focus on, that is the thing that is going to be magnified in your life. And so for me right now, I have the giant Post-it notes. It's like a little flip pad, and all my stuff is written on there, and it's like in the middle of my floor, so there's no walking around it. I see it all the time. And what's also great about it is once I complete something and I check it off, how rewarding is that to see, girl, you are on the right track, right? So keep going. You already had it in you to get that one thing done, so that just motivates me to continue on to the next thing. But it has to be visible. So don't just write your goals down on a little index card and then put it in a drawer somewhere, because you're gonna forget about it. Life is gonna happen, and it'll be 6 months from now. It's like, oh crap, what happened to all of my stuff? And then, you know what, you just get derailed. It just happens. So make sure that they're visible. Put it in a spot where you have a high traffic area there. So whether it be your room, your car, your bedroom, your desk at work, wherever it needs to be, frame that thing, post it up, so you are reminding yourself, hey, I am working towards something, and I'm holding myself accountable for accomplishing these tasks this year, right? Because I mean, there's so many studies on people that actually complete goals, and 50% of the people that write them down, they're more likely to get them done. So you're already halfway there if you at least do that step. But then you gotta see them. You got to keep them visible. Do you need to have a strategy for implementing each goal? I think that you do, and here's why. And I think it also depends on, I think it'll make it easier, because we talk about how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. And so if I say I want to lose 10 pounds by the end of the month, that's not going to happen just because I said it. Now I have to put a plan in place. Okay, am I going to eat less calories? Am I going to work out every day? Am I going to work out more than I was doing? Am I going to start lifting weights? Whatever the case is, now you have to have a strategy in place on how you're going to attain that goal. You've got to break it down into smaller steps, or it'll be the end of the month and you'll get on the scale and be like, what happened? But you didn't have a plan in place. So yeah, dreams, then to goals, and then you got to have a plan and a strategy so that every day you are doing something towards that goal. Somebody said the other week, baby steps is still progress, right? Baby steps is still progress. So for me right now, I'm writing another book, and I need to hold myself accountable. I want to make sure that it's realistic for me, but I think I can have it done by the end of the month. I think I can. So with that, now I'm like, all right, do I want to set my strategy as I'm going to write 1 chapter a day? Am I going to write 3,000 words a day and hold myself accountable? And it keeps you from getting overwhelmed and stressed out, right? So it's like, I know I have a little bit to do every day. That's more manageable. And most of us have lives, right? We have a life. And so things happen, but it's like, I know I got to do that one thing today to get me closer to my goal, and it's so much more manageable. And if you fall off, then great, pick up a smaller piece than trying to pick up the entire thing, and you're a day away from your deadline. So thank you for that question. So make sure they're written, make sure they are visible, and also make sure they're rewarding. Like, they have to be rewarding for you. I mean, think about this. You wouldn't go to work if you didn't know you were getting a paycheck, right? Like, you might not like your job a whole lot, but there's something that keeps you going back, and that's that paycheck. So you have to make sure that your goals are rewarding for you, and not that it's just the latest thing to do, or you think that somebody else is gonna like you more because you lose weight, or whatever the case is. Like, it has to be personal to you. And so a lot of people, you know, writing books and we're doing all this. Well, why are you doing what you're doing? So what is your why behind that goal? You got to know why you're doing it, because that's where the passion is going to keep you going when it gets hard, right? When it gets hard, your passion and your personal why is going to keep you going. It's not going to be somebody else. And yeah, people can motivate you and cheer you on, but if that reward doesn't mean enough to you, you're not going to do it. So yeah, I want to save more money, but why? Why? What is going to be my reward for saving that money? Is it going to be, you know, going on a trip? Is it going to be paying my house off, or whatever the case is? So know your why behind your SMART goal. All right. The next thing is this: not so smart goals are not close enough. And what I mean by that is this: You make annual goals, right? But you got to break that down into quarterly or monthly goals, because by the time you know it, it'll be December again and you're like, oh yeah, I wanted to have that done by then. Or something's 5 or 10 years, that's great. You can start there on a macro level, but make sure you break it down into something that is keeping you, it's closer to you, because that's too far away. December is too far away right now, even though it just passed and it's gonna seem like it came quick when we get there. It's too far away. So if you have annual goals, break them down by a minimum quarter. Ideal to me would be monthly. Honestly, monthly. Again, it's more manageable. You can drop back and punt if you need to, and you still have time to make up for any losses early on if you break it down. All right, so make sure that, yeah, if there's annual or they're far out, that you also have them broken down into quarterly or monthly goals as well, so that they are more manageable and more tangible to you. All right, and the last thing is this: not so smart goals are not shared. And there's two parts to that. One part, sharing, I mean sharing, telling someone else what you're doing. Someone that you trust, someone that's gonna hold you accountable. I'm introverted, I like doing things by myself, I'm independent, and so it's very easy for me to just be in my own little bubble and not include anybody else, right? And so I can have all of my goals and I can be getting them done, but when they're shared, it helps. People, you have to have someone to support you, okay, and to encourage you. It's just great to have somebody else on your team rooting for you and motivating you, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, do I need it? I mean, yeah, I could probably get it done, but it's more fun when I have somebody else cheering me on and when I'm cheering someone else on as well. And also, you have no idea who somebody else knows or what resources they have. So you can tell somebody, you know what? My goal this year, I want to write a book in 30 days. And they'd be like, you know what? Guess what? I came across something, a writing course or a publishing course that I think will help you. And that's going to accelerate your process. But if you hadn't shared it with somebody, now you're just closed off trying to do it more, you know, by yourself. Work smarter and not harder, right? And that's going to require you to get other people involved. And again, people that you trust. Don't go around here sharing your goals with everybody, because everybody cannot handle it, and then you're gonna be defeated. Been there, done that, right? I had to learn that the hard way, because you're so exciting, like, oh, guess what I'm about to do? And that person like, why are you doing that? You can't do that, you know? And they start busting your bubble, and then you start second guessing yourself. So be very careful about who you share your goals with, but have at least one person that you can share your goals with. And the other part is this: if your goal doesn't require more than one person, it's not big enough. It's not big enough, right? And I'm talking about these dreams that we're talking about, these big plans. If you don't need help, it's really not that great of an idea anyway. And it's probably not going to impact that many people. It's just your little selfish thing that you're trying to do. But think of some goals that you need help with others that are going to stretch you, and that's going to require resources beyond yourself. I mean, those are the things that you remember the most. Those are the things that make the biggest impact. The ones that you say, you know what, I need a team. I need a team. Think about when they were, you know, in the boats on the water, and it's like, dude, we've been fishing all night and we haven't caught anything. But when Jesus told them to fish on the other side, it was so much that the nets began to break and they needed help. So pray those kind of, the things that scare you. It's like, there's no way in the world I can do this without resources beyond myself, without people beyond, without knowledge and wisdom beyond myself. Those are the things that are going to make the biggest impact, not only in your life, but in the life of others. All right. So I hope that that was helpful. So not so smart goals, right, are ones that are not written. So make sure you write them down. Make sure that they are visible. Make sure they are rewarding and they're meaningful to you, not to somebody else, not because somebody else wanted you to do it, because you want to do it. And then make sure that they're close enough, they're close enough that you can reach them in months times, in quarterly times, and not so far away that they're just distant dreams that you got more time to procrastinate and get to later. And then make sure that they are shared. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching on the replay, share this with somebody. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys are not following me, again, you can do that at Arianne Maccabee on Instagram. And you can visit my website, www.ariannemaccabee.com. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'll meet you back here tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.